Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to you brothers pushing his word in truth and sincerity. Alright, just coming back with another video, a promptu article type video. I'll start with the scripture right here. This is Isaiah 34:1. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." And I just read Isaiah 34:1 to Isaiah 34:6. All right. The Lord has his curse to judgment, which is the Idumeans, or Idumea, which is Greek for Edom. All right. Esau was turned to Esau's name was changed to Edom. All right. Get this real quick. This is Genesis. This is Genesis 36:1. It says, "Now these are the generations of Esau, who was Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite." Okay, so Esau took him daughters of Canaan. Okay, took him daughters of Canaan, which these were dark-skinned women. All right. Now these are who you would call today Africans. Okay, of parts of East Africa. All right. And Bishamuth, Ishmael's daughter, so he took him Ishmael's daughter. All right. Sister of Nebajoth. And Adah bare to Esau Eliphaz. Okay. Adah bare to Esau Eliphaz. And when you go into Eliphaz, if I'm not mistaken, means my God is gold. Alapaz, if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna get it. I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna go into it. Yeah. Alaya Paz, which means my God is fine gold. Right. Now let's go went into the lineage of Esau. Let's go to real quick. Let's go to this. Wanted to bring this out to Malachi 4:1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble." Yeah, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. Okay, and there's more talks around nuclear weapons. All right, and old memories are being brought up. Okay, you got a lot of these baby boomers. Okay, who grew up during the time of the Soviet Union. They grew up at the height of the Cold War, Soviet Union tensions, where they was having those bombing drills. You hear the air raids and the sirens, and to this day you still can hear the sirens. You know, they have the siren drills from time to time. You can hear them. Okay, but there's actually going to come a time where those sirens are going to go off, and it's actually a real event that's going to take place. You know, hashtag America doomed by nuclear missiles. Hashtag. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Yeah, because that day that burneth like an oven is going to burn them so bad that they're not going to be able to rebuild out of that destruction. Which leads me to this precept real quick. Let's see. It's a good one. Ezekiel 21:32. Uh, Ezekiel 21:31, it says, "And I will pour out mine indignation upon thee. I will blow against thee in the fire of my wrath, and deliver thee into the hand of brutish men and skillful to destroy. Thou shalt be for fuel to the fire. Thy blood shall be in the midst of the land. Thou shalt be no more remembered, for I, the Lord, have spoken it." Yeah, Esau, Edom. Scriptures say, you should be as dung. Uh, yeah, you're gonna be as dung. You know. Now, let me go into this article real quick. And this article is from blacklistednews.com. It says World War III has already started, and it's an economic war. Published March 10th, 2022. Okay, so it's Brandon Smith via Alternative Market. And I'll make a disclaimer on this video. I'm not this is an article that I'm reading um for informational purposes. Okay, and it says in Article 1 published in April of 2018 titled World War III will be an economic war, I outlined a number of factors that portend a large-scale conflict between East and West, and why this war would be mainly economic in nature. I investigated how this conflict will actually benefit globalists and globalist institutions seeking to bring down multiple nations' economies while hiding the engineered crisis behind a wall of geopolitical chaos and noise. All right, so he's outlining in the article, he's referencing the article that he previously published in 2018. Okay, and he mentioned the engineered crisis behind a wall of geopolitical chaos and noise. So what you're seeing over there in Ukraine, okay, is a crisis in the making, all right, to cover up that the fact of that the dollar, okay, you're facing inflation, all right, and nobody knows it's going to lead to hyper inflation, okay, when gas prices get to $5, $6, $7 a gallon, okay, that's uncharted territory. $8, $10 a gallon, diesel $15 a gallon. You know, that's uncharted territory. But these crises are engineered, okay, and according to his his data or his analysis, this is going to benefit globalists in their agenda, globalists in these institutions, okay, because all of these institutions are centralizing now. When you can get more information from those brothers that do the algorithm, okay, and this is furthermore ammunition, okay, because Esau Edom publishes reports, okay, they have their watchmen, but guess what? We're the prophets. We're telling you that look, this is going to lead up to a third world war, and the prophecies read, okay, for in these in this video is going to come to pass. Why? Because Esau Edom, you're the devil that the Bible speaks about. All right. I want to go into this real quick. This is Job. Job been on my mind. Job, the 20th chapter. This is the book of Job 20, verse 5. It says, verse 4, it says, knowing thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yeah, the triumphing of the wicked is short. This is an example of the triumphing of the wicked. They are the globalists behind the scenes, creating and manufacturing crisis, okay, that's ultimately going to bring the average citizen to his knees, displace him, okay, just like the average citizen over there in Ukraine is being displaced at the agenda of the globalists, okay, these elites, these Edomites, all right, but basically that's what they are, okay, they're Edomites, okay. It says, the goal is to convince the masses that national sovereignty is a plague that only leads to mass death, and that the solution is a one world system. Okay, and we know what that one world system is, and we understand how they're going about doing it. Okay, by these series of crises. Okay, they're softening up the public. They're basically jabbing at the public psyche. All right, so that the public will reluctantly accept the change, okay, that these devils are bringing. All right. See, these devils have an agenda and they work in tandem. And how you know that the agenda is getting closer and closer is because the steps are moving more quicker. Okay, the agenda is being drastically. There's a lot of change happening right now as we speak. Revelation 12:12, it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So that this devil knows that he has a short time. He has to engineer more crisis, okay? He has to engineer more crisis. And these crises that he's engineering, they're going to affect the average common citizen more and more. So, like, you just think that you're paying a lot for gas, okay, and you got to critique the way, I mean, basically, you got to budget, you got to change up your spending habits, your eating habits, you got to change up your habits, okay? There's going to be more things. Pretty soon, you're not going to be able to go outside. You're going to be shut up in your house, okay? There's a lot of things happening, and it seems like this devil is winning, okay? Going back to Job 20:5, it says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. That's the power that he exalts himself to have. Okay, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, he even has the satellites. Okay, he has the technology. Okay, he has the surveillance system set up. That's part of his excellency, mounting up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? So he's going to go from being in an exalted state to being forgotten about. Okay. And this is the part of his triumphant right now, the part where he has the ability to create different events that's taking place that actually affects you. Okay, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Yeah, I'm talking to you. This devil has the power, okay, to put things out on Main Street, so to speak, and have them directly affect you. Okay, affect your job, affect your livelihood. Okay. Furthermore, and that's power. That's an example of power. And the Most High have given him that power over you. It says the goal is to convince the masses that national sovereignty is a plague. So his job is to deceive you. Okay, this devil, his job is to deceive you in these last times. Okay, so that you can go along with his agenda to be destroyed. As a matter of fact, since we're there, let's go to this is Second Ezra. This scripture comes to mind. All right, so this is Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, and I think it's about the 6th verse, if I'm not mistaken. You're being led, you average so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, you're being led, especially you women of our tribes, you're being led to your slaughter, your destruction. Okay. Um, no, it's not 6. It says Second Ezra 15:10. It says, "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." Yeah, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is not going to suffer us to stay in this state, okay, this totalitarian surveillance tyranny that these devils are trying to set up through the central bank, through the centralization, okay, of all of these institutions. All right, and you basically you're basically subject to contract, and ultimately you're going to be subject to the MOTB, all right, which is the micro thing, which all these contracts are going to be tied into that micro thing. Okay, when you get a bank account, what are you subject to? You're subject to the contract and the terms and conditions of that specific banking institution, and they compile and keep data on you. Okay, uh, also when you use the utilities, that's another avenue. When you use your utilities, you use electricity, you use gas. That's another contract that you're subject to. Your cell phone, whatever communication that you use, that's another contract. Okay, and they're going to use those to tighten the grip. You will be in Egypt again. Okay, and once they tie you into that through these wars, okay, what you asked for, now they have fully control to jack up the prices, do whatever they want to use and abuse you. Okay, because you're now a complete slave to their digital system. But I'm gonna keep on reading in this article because this is a lot of article, and I kind of wanted to go through this and just bring out some information. Um, Furthermore, the war itself acts as a cover for the inflationary collapse that our central bank and government has created. Yeah, we are already seeing fraud propagandists like White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki attempting to mislead the public into believing all our current inflation problems stem from the Ukraine war. All right, so that's why now you want to bring a form or a sense of patriotism in there, Okay, these Edomites, you're easily swayed and manipulated because now you're against Putin, because now you got to feel it. Oh, Putin is over there doing this in Ukraine, so that's why the gas prices is going up. So this is part of the propaganda. Okay, this is part of the propaganda. The devil, the Edomites, don't want you to figure out who's actually the cause of it. It's the same devils that brought forth the C-19 uh, uh, manufactured crisis made for TV. Okay, and then they sold you the venom. It says this claim requires some impressive mental gymnastics and an epic level of ignorance, but Saki seems to have no shame about her role as a soulless Goebbels-like Goebbels-like figure. Mm. It says one issue which I used to get a lot of arguments over was the idea that countries like Russia and China would end up so closely aligned. People claimed there were too many disparities and that the countries would ultimately turn on each other in the middle of a financial crisis. Well, it's 4 years later, and now we're going to see if that is true or not. So far, it looks like I was correct. My position has long been that certain nations have been preparing for a collapse of the US dollar as the world reserve currency, the primary currency used in the majority of trade around the world. My belief is that America's top economic position is actually an incredible weakness. The dollar's hegemony is not a strength, but an Achilles heel. If the dollar was to lose reserve status, the whole of the US economy and part of the global economy would implode, leaving behind only those who prepared, those who saw the writing on the wall and planned it. Now, as I'm reading this, the one scripture pops up in the mind, and this is how the nations hate the whore. Uh, should know that we in that time. Let's see. Let's find that real quick. Yeah, it goes right here. This is 17 and 16. Revelation 17 and 16. And it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." Yeah, the 10 horns represents the United Nations. Um, those countries, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. So the Most High is going to put it in these nations to do what they're going to do, which is shoot their missiles on the whore and destroy her and burn her with fire, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua shall be fulfilled. So that's the reason why the EU, these conglomerate of nations, are set up, okay, which is a representation of the West. He was talking about the East and the West. All right, but in the West, that's who you have. You have NATO, you have the United Nations, the European Union, which you have a lot of countries that are signing to be a part of the European Union, and that's dealing with trade, okay, and they have economic interests against Russia. Now, as I'm thinking, it's another one. Um, It says the nations were angry. Revelation 11:18 says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou should give us reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Okay, that's well, one way that the nation is going to be angry is when the United States dollar collapses, and everyone that has ties in the United States dollar, okay, in their real estate, in their investments, they're going to lose. Okay, they're going to lose. They're going to lose out. They're going to lose a lot of money. It talks about that in Revelation 18, how they're going to weep and wail. But it said the dollar is an Achilles heel. If the dollar was to lose reserve status, the whole of the U.S. economy and parts of the global economy would implode, leaving behind only those who prepared, those who saw the writing on the wall and planned ahead. The Dollar Crash Coalition. It goes into the this is very interesting. It goes into the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America. But it says there are four nations that have been actively positioning for the crash of the dollar, and they include China, Russia, India, Brazil, South Africa. These countries are also known as the BRICS. BRICS are rarely mentioned in the mainstream media anymore, but there was a time around a decade ago when they were discussed regularly. Okay, yeah, he's right. He's right about that. Yeah, remember, let me jump down. It says today, as the Ukraine war rages, there's constant hype about the union of nations opposed to Russia's invasion, to the point that the narrative has become bizarre. There's an incredible level of cultism in the mainstream media right now, encouraging a mindless mob response. They have been trying to drum up something very similar to a behavioral vortex. Many of us in conservative circles have seen thousands of times in the past few years, Western media is weaponizing cancel culture against Russia. Yeah, we see this, okay? It's just a generational. Oh yeah, cancel culture against Russia. Oh yeah, you heard about the thing with the basketball player, the WNBA player, with the hemp oil. You know, that's part of it. That's part of it because you have a propaganda war. Okay, it's not just the general admonition of the Kremlin of Putin that would be normal. Rather, it's an outright dismissal of anything remotely related to Russia, from bar-owning dummies throwing away all their vodka, even though most of it is not made in Russia, to the International Cat Federation banning certain cats from competitions because they are Russian bred. This is a pure childish insanity, but again, we've seen this before with cancel culture in the US. Okay? Um, let's read this real quick. It says the economic weaponry of Fortress Asia. The close economic relationship between Russia and China is fast building towards a Fortress Asia, which guarantees a certain amount of insulation from global instability. Russia exports a surprising number of raw materials that many countries rely on, from fertilizers to industrial metals like nickel and aluminum. But their biggest export by far is energy in the form of oil and natural gas. Europe is particularly and utter dependent on Russia for between 40 to 50% of its heating and electricity. Cuts to Russia energy exports would devastate Europe in a year's time, and it's unlikely other exporters would be able to fill the void in the near term, at least not without huge prices. So basically, what you have is a situation for another way for the nations to get angry at Babylon the Great, okay, is when these wars take place and they escalate, who suffers the most? The ones within the trajectory of that war. So you have Europe being at 40 to 50% of natural gas and oil in the form of Russian exports. Okay, so if those assets were to be cut off, what happens? The price of those natural gas and those oils, all right, that are used to heat, all right, to uh, for people to drive their vehicles, it goes up in Europe. The Germans suffer, the French suffer. Okay, the whole world is suffering. So what Esau Edom is trying to do is get people tied into this global system. Okay, this devil man, yeah, this man is a devil basically, man. He's the devil. All right, he got everybody tied in together. Okay, all of these nations. All right, he heap up upon him all nations. All right, what is that? Let's go to Habakkuk, the book of Habakkuk 2. Go to the book of Habakkuk 2. It says, Habakkuk 2 and 4, it says, Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Okay, the word clay, that's a batyat, okay, which that means debt, pledges. Okay, this way basically all of that money that was spent, you go to the debt clock, that's a pledge. Okay, those are pledges of future servitude, future work, okay, in the form of debt, in the form of labor. And you American people, you average Babylonians are on the line from it, for it. I said for it, to the point where they're going to make you take that MOTB, all right? And when they make you take that MOTB, you become a complete slave, all right? You're in complete servitude, all right? Let me jump down here. It says, just the threat of cuts to Russian oil cause large overnight price spikes in gasoline in the US and Europe. Brent crude price skyrocketed from $90 a barrel to $130 a barrel in a matter of a couple weeks. I don't think it will stop there either. I expect crude prices to climb into the $200 per barrel range and gas prices to jump to around $7 a gallon before increased US shale pumping helps balance out the supply. And this is the best case scenario. Some of the price will be due to speculation, but ultimately, without Russian oil prices will remain high even if the war in Ukraine ends. And here is where we get to a key aspect of this scenario where I don't think many people are taken into account. It does not matter if Russia pulls out of Ukraine, and it certainly doesn't matter if Ukraine surrenders. The economic side of the war will continue, and it will only escalate. Retaliation in economic warfare beyond oil and energy. The combined influence of the BRICS has the power to dramatically disrupt the US dollar's world reserve status. China alone holds trillions in dollars in US treasuries. That's its debt. Okay, this is future pledges of you average American Babylonians in the form of taxation, in the form of fees, fines, and penalties that the state has to impose upon you to keep up with the payments. Okay, or the same thing that is going on over there in Russia with their sanctions, the fall of the ruble and people running to the banks to get their money out. All right, that's the same thing that's going to happen over here. People are going to be running to their banks to get their money out. They're already running to the banks to get these they're getting part of their money out. Well, the smart ones will be getting part of their money out of the banks and putting it into physical, tangible assets, metals, precious metals, because the price of silver and the price of gold is going up by the day. Okay, and that's a sign that the dollar is collapsing, and they're using it as a cover. Okay, they're using this war in Ukraine as a cover. Okay, and behind that is going to become the agenda that they're pushing. That's why you had Bush, I said Bush, Biden have a he signed an executive order to look into cryptocurrencies. Okay, and because they're going to centralize everything and have one digital uh, federal controlled, Federal Reserve controlled cryptocurrency, central bank controlled digital currency. All right, so this is very interesting. Okay, and these are results of what? The wars, the economic wars that are in place. Like this article is going into. Oh, it's another scripture that I wanted to go into um, real quick. Ecclesiastes 12. It says, remember now, Ecclesiastes 12 and 1, it says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because there are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. We're coming into that time. You're supposed to remember the Lord now, but we're really coming into that time in the day where the keepers of the house shall tremble. All right, because there's wars, economic wars being waged. Okay, and there's retaliation. Okay, that's going to come. Russia made their first move. United States and these other countries and NATO, okay, they're tightening up because they're making their move. Okay, at the same time, the people are going to be affected. And now you're going to have martial law. Why? Because as these prices go up, okay, as these cost of goods and services go up, more people are going to start losing their jobs. All right, more people are going to be in the streets. And then you have the price of commodities going up. Wheat, the price of wheat is going to go up because what? Ukraine, Russia, they have a lot of their wheat going into the world economy. All right, and what? Russia's not putting wheat. Russia's not trading wheat on a global economy. All right, that's going to deal with the supply. That's going to have an effect on the supply. But with BRICS, Russia, okay, China, India, okay, these countries can trade amongst each other. These countries in Asia, all right, can trade amongst each other. And over here, you get left out. Okay, I challenge you, go into a lot of your stores, okay, and see where your fish comes from. especially the frozen fish. All right, like for example, Aldi's. See where that fish comes from. All right, so some of that fish come from China. All right, some of the shrimp come from China. All right, some of this food that you buy come from other countries. All right, so this deal, man, is going down. It's going to hurt, and everything is affected. Everything is tied in together. All right, everything is tied in together, and this is how these devils created this system. All right, they're gonna make these average Americans suffer. If you're not taking that MOTB, if you're not implementing it into that system, if you didn't get that jab, all right, they want to make you suffer. Okay, you're a threat. You're an enemy combatant. Okay, and they're gonna have security forces. All right, for people of that nature, of that mindset. All right, but amongst them are men that believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, let's keep on reading though. I'm trying to get through this article. Read through this article. It says right here. Let's go down here. It says the BRICS in combination control a vast swath of the export and manufacturing markets. They don't even need to dump the dollar in trade. All they have to do is say they prefer a basket of currencies like the International Monetary Fund, special drawing rights. The dollar's value would collapse, and that would be in the midst of already rising inflation. Another interesting development from the economic war is the increasing call for crypto and digital currency solutions. I would note that it's not just the BRICS who are refusing to go against Russia. There is also the matter of globalist institutions like the IMF and the Bank of International Settlements. Not surprisingly, Russia's membership in these world banking platforms remains secure. Russia continues to hold billions in IMF, SDRs. Both institutions have been calling for the implementation of a global digital currency system, which obviously they would control. If the world economic war continues at its current trajectory, it is only a matter of time before trade sanctions turn into currency attacks. This is where the US will be hurt the most. It is perhaps not so coincidental that the globalists have staged themselves to benefit. With no world reserve currency established and an inflationary crisis raging, they will attempt to swoop in to save the day and assert that they have the perfect solution, a global digital currency system based on blockchain technology but tied to the IMF's SDR basket system and administered by them. In other words, with all the inflation presented in national currencies, the IMF will offer the public a digital currency or cryptocurrency that most promise them more stability. The inflationary crisis and confidence will be used to push people into a digital system which has no privacy and can be used to control them by not denying them access on a whim. See, that's where it goes, okay? A system where you're going to have no privacy and can be used to control them, meaning you, the people, by denying you access on a whim. So what you can access right now with cash, if they don't want you to access it, you're not going to have it. It says much like how the Chinese social credit system operates. Okay, we've been talking about that, the social credit score system. Okay, Ukraine is only the first domino in a long chain that is meant to lead to a one world economic system centralized into the hands of the money elites. There are ways to disrupt it, and the plan may not succeed at all, but there's no avoiding the economic pain that will be caused in the meantime. All right, this is according to this guy. But this is beautiful. All right, we see that this is happening. This is like the woman in travail, okay? As she gets closer and closer to giving the baby, bringing the baby forth, all right, those contractions get closer and closer. He likens it unto dominoes falling. One domino falls, and then the dominoes fall faster and faster and faster and faster. And ultimately, the end of the domino is it's going to lead to the destruction of the society. All right. Let me top some of these last precepts that I was reading. This is back in Job 20:18. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away an house which he built not. And that's all part of what he's doing to establish his new world order. He's raping, robbing, and stealing. He's doing all types of wickedness. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. That's why the scriptures say that there's no peace unto the wicked, saith the Lord. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Yeah. Because in the midst of him establishing this new world order too, you're going to have a lot of insurrections. All right, he's going to bring forth a lot of insurrections. All right, and this destruction is going to come. Okay. All right, it says 23. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. Yeah, those missiles, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So this devil, when he goes to establish and put the cap on his thing, the Most High is going to destroy him. So, what are you talking about when you say there? It says the plan may not succeed at all. No. You know what, Shalaki? It says there there are ways to disrupt it. Yeah, and he say the plan may not succeed at all. Nah, his plan is going to go to the fullness of his sufficiency, and then the Most High is going to come. See, there's a bound that this devil cannot pass. Okay, the Most High have appointed him a bound that he cannot pass. Okay, so yeah, so this was a longer video than I um, typically do, but I was edified, reading this article. It's a beautiful article that I could tie in with the scriptures. Lord's will, I did it, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. This is information that we bringing out, man. A lot of people don't know about the bricks, which is a lot of people don't know about the bricks, and you know, Common Jake don't know about the oil markets and high commodities and the price of the commodities affect what you're paying in the stores or what you're paying at the gas pump. It goes into this. There was a lot of things going on years ago, like 2022. I mean, sorry, Shalakia, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. There was a lot of things that happened. You know, and then when 2020 came in, they pushed forth their agenda. So now they're going for that enterprise. Esau Edom is going for that enterprise, and you're really seeing it. It's right in front of your face. And it's the prophets, the watchmen, to bring this out, to bring the information to you. So with that, call hello Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Wadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to you brothers that's pushing this word, truth and sincerity. Shalom.